Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Have you ever tried speaking English, but your mind just refuses to let go of your first language? You freeze, you hesitate. You know exactly what you want to say, but the words won't come. It's like your thoughts are knocking on the door, but they can't find the key. It happens to all of us. You study English. You memorize grammar rules. You can understand everything when you read. But when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. Even worse, it starts translating word by word from your native language into English, making you get stuck in your head. It's like driving around in circles, never reaching your destination. This is the breaking point. The moment you realize something terrifying, you don't just need to learn English, you need to think in it. People call it building your English brain, but it's much more than that. It's the key to everything, and if you don't do it, you'll stay stuck. Don't misunderstand this. It doesn't mean your native brain, whether it's Vietnamese, Spanish, Japanese, or anything else, disappears. It means your brain needs to work in two languages, without pausing, without translating every single word, without wasting time. That's the difference between being stuck and truly speaking English. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first, you're focused on every single step. 1 foot here, keep balance, don't fall. But one day, you just do it without thinking. That's what fluency feels like. But here's the ugly truth. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country to make this happen. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to speak perfectly. But you must be consistent. You need a little bit of English every single day. Not just study it, but live it. The worst mistake you can make is thinking it's enough to only speak English. No, you need to think in English, even in the smallest ways. So, where do you start? It's easier than you think. Start small. Start by catching yourself when you slip back into your first language. Then, challenge yourself. For example, when you make a cup of tea, don't just do it mindlessly. Say it out loud in English. I'm boiling water. I'm waiting. I'm pouring it. Yes, it might sound stupid at first, but this is how the brain learns. It needs repetition. It needs to hear your voice. Not just read from a book, it needs real English from you, not some textbook version. Most people are waiting for the perfect moment. They think, I'll start thinking in English when I'm fluent. That's a lie. You won't become fluent by waiting. You start thinking in English first, even with baby steps. Only then does fluency start to grow. 1 sentence today, 2 thoughts tomorrow. 1 habit by next week. Soon, your brain won't need permission. It will speak English automatically. You won't even notice when it happens, but it will. Start with 1 small sentence today. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. I'm tired. It's a beautiful day. I forgot my keys. I want to grow. These are small sentences, but they are powerful because they come from you, your own voice. This is how you begin to build your English brain. And trust me, I'll be with you every step of the way. But remember, time is running out. If you don't start now, you'll stay stuck. And that's not where you want to be. The struggle of translation. Let's talk about something we've all experienced. You're having a conversation, and someone asks you a simple question. What do you like to do on weekends? In your mind, you hear the answer in your native language first. You form the sentence there. Then you try to translate it into English. After that, you check the grammar. You worry if it sounds okay. And then, maybe, you speak. by that time, the moment is gone. The other person has already moved on and you feel frustrated. Not because you don't know English, but because you're stuck in the middle. Translating in your head is like taking a detour every time you travel. Let's say your destination is speaking English naturally. You could go straight from your thought to your English sentence, but instead, you take a longer route. First, your native language, then translate, check grammar, and finally speak. That's why it feels tiring. That's why your brain feels overloaded. It's like trying to run a marathon while solving a math problem. Of course, you get exhausted. Of course, you freeze, but here's the thing. It's not your English that's the problem, it's the process. Translating is not bad. In the beginning, it's your bridge when you're learning the basics. But it's not a place to stay forever. If you always need to pass through translation, your English will always feel slow, even if your vocabulary is strong. That's why we need to train your brain to skip the bridge and go straight to the English sentence. And guess what? You already do this in your native language. Think about it. When you're angry, do you translate your feelings before speaking? When you're hungry, do you plan your sentence in advance? No, you just speak because it's automatic. Your thoughts and your language are connected. That's what we want for your English too. We want your thoughts and your English to be directly connected without needing translation. Training your brain to speak naturally. Here's the good news, your brain can do this. It just needs practice and the right kind of practice. Try this simple exercise. Next time you have a thought, don't translate it. Just pause and ask, how would I say this if I only had English, not perfect English, just my English? It may be simple, it may be broken, but it's real. And real is always better than perfect. I want to remind you of something important. You're not behind. You're not bad at English. You're not too old or too slow. What's happening is that you're using an old system, a translating system that helped you in the past, but now it's time to upgrade. Let your thoughts breathe in English. Let them come out not through fear, but through feeling. Say it like a child would, honest, small, direct. I'm tired. I love this. I don't know. I need time. These sentences may sound simple, but they are powerful because they are alive. When you speak like this, your brain is learning to think in English, not to translate it. Next time your brain wants to translate, gently tell it, "Thank you, you helped me, but now I'm trying a new way." I want to speak not from memory, but from myself. That's where the shift begins. Not with perfect grammar, but with permission. Permission to think simply and speak simply. Your English brain is not built through pressure. It's built through trust, and you're already on your way. The power of small habits. Building an English brain isn't about studying harder. It's about living differently. And often, the smallest habits create the biggest changes. Let me ask you, how many hours a day do you actually live in English? Not just study. Not just watch a video or take a class, but really let English be a part of your thoughts, your actions, your day. For most people, it's less than 30 minutes. And that's okay. That's exactly where we start. Let me share something personal. When I first tried to think in another language, I failed. Again and again. I'd try to speak to myself in English, but my brain would automatically switch back to my native language. It was frustrating. I felt fake. I felt tired. But then I realized something. I was trying to change too much, too fast. So I made a deal with myself, just 1 moment a day. That's enough. Here, what I did, and what you can try too, name what you see. When you're walking around, look at things and say their names in English. Cup, chair, tree, shoes, street, sky. It may sound simple, but this is how babies learn. This is how your brain starts connecting words with the world without translating. Talk to yourself in simple sentences. When you wake up, say, I'm getting out of bed. When you feel sleepy, say, I feel sleepy. While cooking, say, I'm chopping onions, the water is boiling. Don't worry about mistakes. No one is listening, and even if they were, it doesn't matter. You are practicing connection, not performance. Keep a tiny English journal. Every night, write 1 or 2 sentences about your day, just like this. Today was a busy day. I was tired, but I finished my work. You don't need to write a lot. It's about continuity, not quantity. You're creating a quiet space in your mind where English can live. Daily practices to build your English brain. Listen to slow English and repeat out loud. Find slow-paced English podcasts or videos. Listen to them carefully, pause, and then repeat what you hear. It might seem small, but the rhythm of the language will enter your system. Even just 5 minutes a day can help your mouth and mind work together better. Choose one phrase per day. Pick one English phrase each day and use it in different situations. For example, that's interesting. I'm not sure. Let's see. Take your time. Say it in your head, say it out loud, say it when you're alone. Over time, these phrases will become part of your automatic thoughts. When that happens, English will start to feel more natural, like a second skin. Building an English brain is not dramatic. It's quiet. It's slow. It's like roots growing deep underground. But one day, without warning, you'll realize something. You'll speak without thinking. You'll write without fear. You'll understand without translating. And you'll smile because this time it didn't come from pressure. It came from presence. The power of feeling over words. Now let's look at something we often believe. To think in English, we need more vocabulary, more grammar, and more complex sentences. But sometimes, what we really need is to feel more, not say more. Let me explain with a simple example. When a baby learns to speak, she doesn't open a dictionary. She listens. She observes. She feels. She sees a dog, points to it, smiles, and says, dog. Not because she understands nouns or categories, but because the feeling of dog is already inside her. The sound of the word just follows the emotion. Now, let's imagine you're standing at a bus stop. It's raining. You're tired. In your native language, 1,000 thoughts might come to your mind. Complaints, memories, metaphors. But in English, you might only have one thought, I don't like this. And guess what? That's enough. That sentence, simple, short, and real, is true to how you're feeling. And that's the beginning of fluency. Many learners make the mistake of trying to sound smart. They wait for the right word, the impressive word, the perfect grammar. But your English brain doesn't need perfection. It needs honesty. So, instead of trying to translate your feelings into fancy sentences, try matching English to the feeling itself. Here, how, when you feel something, don't rush to explain it. Pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what would I say in English if I only had a few words? You'll find that the answers are always close by. I'm happy. This is hard. I don't understand. I want to be better. I feel alone. These aren't basic sentences. These are your real voice learning to speak in English. And when your language comes from a real place, people will feel it. Even if your grammar is broken. Even if your accent is strong. Because emotion is universal. And English, like any language, is simply a bridge between hearts. The emotion reflection practice. Here's a simple practice that can help you, the emotion reflection. At the end of your day, take a few moments to sit quietly and ask yourself, what did I feel most strongly today? What moment made me smile? What moment made me uncomfortable? Then describe that moment in English, simply and honestly. You don't have to impress anyone with your English. Just express yourself. You could say things like, I was nervous before the meeting. I felt proud when I helped my friend. I missed my hometown. This is thinking in English, not translating, not memorizing. It's feeling, and the more you let emotions guide your English, the more alive your language will become. You'll stop being afraid of mistakes because there's no mistake in a true feeling. You'll stop waiting for the right word because often the most human word is the simplest one. And you'll stop treating English like a school subject and start treating it like your second voice. So here's a question to carry with you today. What do you feel right now in English? You don't need to write a long paragraph. You don't need to explain everything. Just pause and say one sentence. Say it gently. Say it like you're talking to someone you trust. That's how your English brain learns. Through emotional truth, not intellectual pressure. Because the heart learns faster than the mind. Living with English. Let's take one more step back. You've learned to stop translating. You've learned to start small. You've learned to let your feelings speak before the grammar does. And now there's one final shift. You stop trying to practice English and start living with English. What does this mean? It means English is no longer a separate task. It's no longer just a subject you study from a book or something you switch on during class. It becomes something you carry with you, like a quiet rhythm in your thoughts. You start to notice how your inner voice changes. Not all at once, but slowly, gently. One day, you'll whisper to yourself, I'm late. Another day, you'll read a message in English and feel the meaning before you even think about it. And one quiet evening, you'll sit with your thoughts and realize they're not just in your first language anymore. English is there too, not perfect, not polished, but present. And that presence will change everything. Fluency is not just about speaking. It's about becoming someone who feels at home in another language. It's about identity and how you see yourself. And when you live with English daily in the way you think, feel, reflect, and express, you're no longer just learning English. You're growing into it. The long journey of learning English. I know it's not always easy. There will be days when you feel stuck. Days when your brain wants to run back to the comfort of your native language. That's okay. It's part of the journey. Even in your first language, you weren't fluent overnight. You learned it through time, trust, and countless mistakes. So why expect anything different now instead of pushing yourself too hard? Try allowing. Instead of chasing fluency, focus on building familiarity. Day by day, English will feel less like a stranger and more like a friend. Bringing English into your daily life. So, how do you become the kind of person who lives in English? You live in moments, not minutes. You say good morning to yourself in English. You read the signs on the street and think about them in English. You write small notes, describe your feelings, send a text, or listen to a song in English. You start bringing English into your real life, not just your study time. That's when something shifts. You no longer try to think in English. You just do. Here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to be perfect to belong. You don't need to speak like a native to be proud. You're not learning English to impress the world. You're learning it to connect with yourself, with others, with a bigger life. So let English be your tool, your bridge, your quiet companion. Even if you never go abroad, even if no one claps for your progress, Even if you speak to no one but yourself, it matters. Because the way you talk to yourself shapes the way you live. Tonight, before you sleep, say one sentence in English. One honest, present, peaceful sentence. I did my best today. I'm learning slowly, but I'm learning. I trust my journey. Let that be enough because you are enough. And your English brain, your second voice, is growing with every breath, every step, every soft attempt. Patience in the process. The journey to an English brain isn't about rushing or forcing it. It's about being patient and gentle with yourself. Many learners get frustrated because they expect fast results. But real change takes time. You don't learn to walk in one day. You don't learn to ride a bike in one day. And you don't learn to speak English fluently in one day. It's a gradual process. You'll take 2 steps forward, and sometimes you'll feel like you take 1 step back. That's okay. It's part of the journey. The key is to keep going. Don't rush. Don't push too hard. Just keep doing small things every day to bring English into your life. Eventually, you'll notice something incredible. One day, without even trying, you'll realize that you are thinking in English. Your English brain will be alive. It will feel natural, not forced. You'll speak with ease. You'll read with more understanding. You'll feel more confident because you've been living with English day by day in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The beauty of small changes. Sometimes we underestimate the power of small changes. We think they don't matter, but they do. Each little habit, each small sentence, each thought in English brings you closer to your goal. So, start with something simple today. Maybe it's saying, I'm hungry, in English when you feel it. Maybe it's thinking, this is a beautiful day when you see the sky. Maybe it's reading a sign and saying it in English in your head. These small steps are what will help you get there. You don't need to speak like a native. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to be real. And when you speak from your heart, people will understand you. They'll feel your honesty, and that's what truly matters. Trust the process. Building your English brain is like planting a seed. You don't see the growth right away. But over time, with care and attention, it will grow. You will begin to speak English more easily. You will start to understand it more deeply, and you will begin to feel at home with it. Don't worry about how long it takes. Don't worry about how perfect your grammar is. Focus on the journey, not the destination. Each moment you spend thinking and speaking in English is progress. Trust the process. Trust yourself. You are doing more than just learning a language. You are building a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, a new way of connecting. Your English brain is already growing. Remember, your English brain is already growing. Every time you practice, every time you think in English, it's getting stronger. It may not feel like it now, but in a little while you'll notice the changes. You won't have to force yourself to speak anymore. It will feel natural. You'll be able to express yourself more easily. And you'll be able to understand English without translating. In the beginning, it might seem hard. It might feel like you're not making progress. But you are. You're learning in a way that is real and meaningful to you. So keep going. Keep practicing. Keep living in English, even in small ways. And soon enough, you'll realize that your English brain isn't just something you're building. It's something that's already part of you. You might be wondering when this journey will end. The truth is, it doesn't really end. Fluency is not a destination. It's a process. It's about growing, changing, and becoming more comfortable with the language over time. One day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. You'll see how much easier it is to think in English. You'll see how much more confident you feel when speaking. And you'll smile because you didn't force it. You didn't try to be perfect. You just trusted the process and you let English become part of you. So what's next? Keep going. Don't stop. Every word you speak, every sentence you think is a step forward. Your English brain is already alive and growing, and with every new experience, it will become stronger. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Keep learning, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep living with English. Because one day, you'll realize that English isn't something you're learning anymore. It's a part of who you are.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.